Good evening. Welcome back. We're going to be talking tonight about some business, not entities, but ways of doing business that are simple, but not necessarily as advantageous as some of the other things that we've talked about. The first one we're going to talk about is called a sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship just means the business is you. You're it. You own the business. The money that comes into the business is yours. The work that goes out is done by you. Any liability that comes along, you're responsible for it. If, as a sole proprietorship, you hire a receptionist or somebody else and they go out at lunchtime and run over the little old lady going across the street, guess who gets sued? You do. Why you? Because theoretically, you have money. You have things that they want. Your secretary has nothing that they want, most likely. So the deal is that sole proprietorships give you no liability protection at all. Can you get some tax benefits? Yes, you're going to be putting down tax deductions for your business on your Schedule C or your Schedule D on your personal tax return. But you're not going to get very much because it's still seen as you. So back in 2017, when the Tax Reduction Act came along, which gave businesses additional tax benefits and tax opportunities, it did not include sole proprietorships. And so the deal is that if you're going to want to get more tax benefits, you're going to want to something other than a sole proprietorship. Now, sole proprietorships are easy. You don't have to file with the Secretary of State. You don't have to even necessarily get another tax ID number. You can get a fictitious name and different things of that sort, but in reality, it's just you. So if something happens, you're on the hook, and you're not going to be able to take much off as tax deductions. So that's a sole proprietorship. For people who are going to go home and do something for $5,000 or $10,000 a year, and they're just going to do something in your backyard and do it yourself, maybe that's going to be just fine. But the moment you go ahead and hire people, or when you start having some tax issues, you're going to want to start looking at something else other than a sole proprietorship. But that's a good way to start. We all started as sole proprietorships. It's just that the moment you're responsible for somebody else's acts, you need to get a corporation or something else so that it differentiates you from your employees. So the second one I want to talk about is what's called a general partnership. Now, a general partnership means a sole proprietorship with more than one person. That's all it really means, except it has a couple other detriments to it also. So sole proprietorships are very easy to put together, and general partnerships are very easy to put together. Yes, we do tell the state that we're going to be a general partnership. We usually have to get a tax ID number for that. But what happens is that once again, everybody's going to get this. It's K1 at the end of the year that says this is your share of the profit, and you will have to pay tax on it whether you took it home or not. Another thing is the general partnership does not get a lot of tax benefits. Not enough for us, or my clients anyway. We need to do a lot better than that. But the biggest issue with a general partnership is the liability issue. Now, with a sole proprietorship, you're liable for your own acts. And we kind of need to be liable for our own acts. The limited partnership, the LLC, can actually protect our assets from being taken by a creditor where our own acts have brought liability. We ran over the neighbor's dog. We ran into somebody's car. We're a contractor and the house fell down on somebody. We should be responsible for that. But what we're going to show you is how to protect your assets. So even if those things happen, then we can go ahead and make sure that you don't lose your assets, even if you lose the lawsuit. Okay? But on a general partnership, you're not only liable for your own acts, you're liable for all of the acts of every one of the general partners. Let me tell you a court case that we studied in law school. Now, this was 31, 32, 33 years ago that I was studying this, so I'll just kind of tell you what I can remember of it. What happened back in the Prohibition time? There's this group of 8 people that were up in the mountains in New York making moonshine. Okay, and one night, one of the members was in town and he did something. He spit on the street or did something that offended one of the law enforcement officers, and so they threw him in jail. And so there's these other 7 up that night that were making this moonshine. And there was the New York State Police decide to come and raid the camp. They know that they're doing this. And so they raid the camp. There's a gunfight going back and forth. And one of the policemen gets shot, okay, and killed. Well, it just so happened when these moonshiners, these people, they were seen to be a general partnership. They were working together to accomplish a certain goal. They were seen as partners. And even the partner in jail that night that wasn't even at the gunfight, he was found guilty of first-degree murder. And so that's what kind of happens with general partnership. You are liable for what your partners do. If you open a general partnership and one of the partners say, we don't have enough money coming in, we got to go get some money, so he goes and robs the bank to be able to bring some extra money into the partnership. Guess what? You go to jail for robbing the bank, even though you didn't even know he was doing it. So the general partnership is not generally one of the entities that we use. Sometimes we use it between a husband and a wife for some tax benefits or things like that. But be very, very careful and with the use of a general partnership. It's not something we will usually use. It is one of the tools on our tool belt of what we can do if we need to. But you need to realize that's kind of how those work. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get together with you next time and show you how some of these work together, as well as show you the last mainly used entity that we use, and that's a living trust. So come back and find out some more about that.